Abusuya Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe aka NAPO training from June till now. Ninya ko by abra rumors and as news be poppy up say Frank Berra Ojema NPP Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia are presenting it to Nanado the National Council no say consider na onfa na be di achiri as running mate 2024 elections say be komu no ana enkomodie bi aba afa na brabo anase ni suban ho amanfo be na supan say oye pompous ebi so arrogant no ana Joy FM presenter ba kon edin sembi atudwa afa NAPO essence ma ekoso na so kan no esese uti esese chiwo so we hwe ye so say na dey first time on this channel I need the mobile so na wa hit subscribe button na fe while like video no share na onua so ehu de ekoso yes mess also be chewa adwin e wona essence ma ekoso so open Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and also check Kwesi Vybes so on YouTube and also subscribe so Facebook so no follow page ni upload e wona for family enkotie enkomodi a Kojo Yankson of Joy FM edituga efa NAPO and sense bye bye
Kojo.
He who the gods want to kill they first make mad. When you realize that you catch yourself making decisions that are invariably going to cause your doom, then you know that the gods are no longer on your side. I think Bawumia has been committed to choosing NAPO as his running mate from the very, very beginning. And Kwame talks about whether this reflects on whether Bawumia is his own man or not. I will say that unfortunately, and I'm starting the sentence with unfortunately, it does reflect that Bawumia is his own man. He's making his own decision here. He's making his own bad decision. Unfortunately. Because yesterday's reporting, and that's the only bit of news I've caught in the past week, was that when the vice president presented his choice to the president gave his advice and his suggestions. And it was after those advice and suggestions that the president eventually accepted NAPO. So, the person who we think is the puppet master behind Bawumia, even he wasn't able to change Bawumia's mind on this complete car crash of a choice. Even the puppet master, the so-called puppet master, couldn't change Bawumia's mind. Because Bawumia's mind has been made up a long time ago. And you see, if you know the vice president, you will understand his weakness. His weakness is for figures. And his understanding of figures. Yes. That's his weakness. And I'm not saying that he has... I'm not questioning his competence when it comes to economics. He is an economist, a competent one. I'm not questioning his ability to read a spreadsheet. His real weakness is when he tries to make numbers and politics align. That's his real weakness. And every single trap that he has fallen into in his career is because of this. Every single thing he has said that has taken numbers and turned them into political rhetoric is now the albatross around his neck. And unfortunately, the process by which he has chosen NAPO, or chose NAPO, because I'm telling you, this choice was years in the making. In fact, Miracles said it months ago, that the president knew even, the vice president knew even before he became presidential candidate, who he would choose as running mate.
Wow.
Yeah. Because he's guided by his desire to make the numbers and the politics fit. So what are the numbers? The vice president has made two assumptions. One is completely correct, one is completely wrong. His first assumption is that the NPP has an uphill task of winning this coming election. The disaffection across the nation is widespread. So they have a very difficult job of winning the election. However, if the NPP wins more than 75% of the Asante region alone, they can stop counting the rest of the votes because they will win the election by all reasonable estimations. This assumption is correct. That's Dr. Bawumia's theory on which he's operating, and it is correct. Then he makes a second assumption, that the best way to win 75% or more of the Asante region is by having NAPO as running mate. This assumption is entirely wrong. And I am not sure how he arrived at it. But it's wrong. It is wrong. NAPO, hey, the minute this man is announced as vice presidential candidate, we have to understand that the MPP is one comment away from losing the election. On any given day, they are just one disrespectful comment away from losing the election. One ethnocentric comment away from losing the election. One misguided, downright ignorant comment away from losing the election. Because they've chosen NAPO. I don't agree with lawyer who says that NAPO rather is dirtying his hands by associating himself with Bawumia. No. NAPO is the kind of personality who would dirty even Mother Teresa's hands. Because every time he's talking, you're scared. Every time he opens his mouth, you're worried about who he's going to offend. Because he has absolutely no sense of awareness of who he is in the grand scheme of things. He thinks he's the hero of all of our stories. And that we just wake up in the morning with the yearning desire to hear what nugget of wisdom will fall out of his mouth today. That's who he thinks he is in our lives. Only a person with such a God complex, such a misguided God complex, can tell children whose life outcome falls under your ministry, you can tell them that if you don't have toilet facilities, take a polythene bag, defecate in it, and throw it into the bush.
Vice President.
He wants to be vice president.
We are expecting him vice president.
But you have to ask yourself, where did he get the comfort from? I want you to put yourself in the shoes of someone who is saying this to students. And imagine, okay,
as a sector minister.
Yes, sector minister saying this to students. After you've taken your salary for the month to solve their problems, then you go to them and tell them, while you are saying that, I want you to close your eyes and picture, where do you gather the audacity to say it? Whatever the source of that self-inflation, it must be endless and uncontrollable. He cannot be a person in control of his utterances. He can't. To go and tell the people of Keta that if government budgets to stop your town from flooding, you will go and demonstrate in Kumasi against it. Now you want to be their vice president. I'm sorry, but in order for you to even have that desire, you must be convinced that the people of Keta are of no consequence. Yeah, otherwise at this point you would know that you can't possibly be their vice president. But he doesn't care. Their existence matters a lot to him. That's why he's able to put himself up to be their vice president. Because he actually doesn't think he will be their vice president.
It's a tricky business.
So no, I'm sorry, but this is a decision which is basically car crash TV. From now on, we are all just going to be waking up, switching on the TV to see how is NAPO going to screw the MPP today. From now to the election, this is what we are going to do. And if by some gods of Donald Trump, these people end up winning, and NAPO becomes our vice president, I can't roll in simple fun.